Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. We're your hosts. I'm Sybil Amuti.
And I'm Brandis Daniel.
And before we jump into this week's episode of the podcast, make sure you sign up for our newsletter at
thegreatgirlfriends.com.
And don't forget to leave us an amazing iTunes review.
Yes, that is the payment for listening to this podcast.
I love it. 5 stars all the way. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Are you struggling to get ahead in life? Are you tired of living a status quo, mediocre, average life? Is your life characterized by chaos, confusion, clutter, and disorder? Are you frustrated with the continuous cycle of defeat? Is your vision for your life bigger than how you're living right now? Are you living beneath the vision God has for you? Are you ready to step into your greatness and all that God has for you? If yes, join the Abundant Life Camp. ALC is a success and accountability group for women ready to step into the abundant life you desire. Abundant Life Camp. Visit the website at www.abundantlifecamp.com.
So we are sitting here looking at the cutest baby pictures of Sam and Dylan.
No, I miss them being small babies.
You can always have another one.
Not quite. I am so free. Do you understand? Everyone goes to bed at night, and like everyone can tell me exactly what they're feeling.
I know.
Why would I want to go back in time like that?
I feel you.
I think that third one would really come from my youth.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Sid.
I'm just waiting on your number 2, because between your number 2 and you do know I have 7 pregnant friends, right?
That's insane.
Like all at once.
That's insane.
So I'm good. I don't think I need to add more to the mix. They would probably be mad at me because they'd be like, wait, so you can't babysit?
Right,
Like,
exactly.
You gonna get pregnant now?
Exactly. Like Crystal, my youngest sister is about to have a baby. I'm like, whoa. Scott was supposed to be the youngest grandbaby here so that I can have all hands on deck, but no, I'm super excited. Hey, great girlfriend.
Hey, we're back.
How y'all doing?
I know. How y'all doing out there? I think y'all are doing great, because I'm going to tell you, I keep up on the hashtag The Great Girlfriends.
Yes. So
I'm watching you on Instagram.
And for those of you who are hanging out with your great girlfriends and not taking photographs and hashtagging The Great Girlfriends, shame on you.
Shame.
We're looking for y'all's pictures so that we can post them on our Instagram.
I know. We like to be where you are. At least we like to keep up. And you know, we got FOMO. So you got to make sure you keep us posted.
Sybil has FOMO.
Brenda has just as much FOMO. If you post something where y'all are having fun, did you see that post by so-and-so? They look like they had a good time.
That's not
it's
FOMO.
Not just me.
That is not FOMO. That is not.
I know, because I will be like, why did we get invited?
Right. And for our great girlfriends who are a little bit behind, FOMO is fear of missing out.
I know. It's a struggle. I'm delivered in 2018.
Right.
So hope all is amazing. Brandis, you good?
I'm good. I feel good. You know, people have been trying to come for my peace today, but I don't know. You know, I'm going to tell you the gift, and this actually goes into what we're going to talk about today. The gift of doing something for so long is that you would have experienced so many challenges that when a new challenge come up, you're like, oh, this ain't that bad. They think it's that bad, but I'm like, oh, I've had way worse than
this. Right. That's for amateurs.
This is actually not a big problem.
Yeah.
We can work through this.
Right.
So, other than that, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm actually good now. I was telling someone earlier. Last night, I came to the realization that I've been dealing with insomnia. I told you that when I came in. I'm like, this is crazy.
Who diagnosed you with insomnia? Was that Dr. Google?
Dr. Google diagnosed.
Oh, Lord.
No, but
our medical great girlfriends out there, don't get mad at us. Sybil is not going to a doctor. She's actually going to free Dr. Google.
I have to go see
often
someone.
Wrong.
I gotta go see someone. I went on WebMD. And I shouldn't even say that for free, but I did go on WebMD to try to figure out some symptoms that I've been having. And I think they all point back to insomnia. So I will get it checked out. I will get it under control. But my sleep patterns have been horrible.
Last night I actually had a tough time sleeping. I usually sleep pretty good, but I think what happened is I was scrolling before I went to bed. And I like to give myself about 2 hours of just clear time before I go to sleep without scrolling, because if I don't, like when we scroll, we're digesting all of the things that are on social media.
Your dreams be like a soul train
Yes.
Scrabble
So it was
board.
like a big Scrabble board. And then I was listening to these podcasts yesterday. I'm trying to learn this new thing on Facebook. And so that had me like, I was already, my mind was full. It was at capacity. And so then on top of being at capacity, I decided I'm going to that's after dealing with the 2 and the 3-year-old who are asking me, why? Why? So yeah, I did too much.
Yeah, you did a lot. You did.
That scrolling did it though.
I know. I realized that's something I'm going to get checked out. And I slept well last night, but I slept well because I realized what was wrong. I was like, this might be something. I thought it was for people who couldn't who couldn't sleep at all. I didn't understand like how insomnia works. And I might not have insomnia, but that's just what I'm saying it points to right now. So I'm investigating more, but I slept much better last night.
There's lots of places that do the sleep test.
I know, and I took a sleep pop quiz online.
Oh gosh,
I took a pop quiz online. But what brought me to the revelation was that I was speaking with someone, and she was talking about how good she felt because she slept, and she woke up, she felt so rested and stuff, and I was like, do you always feel rested when you wake up? And she was like, yeah, girl, I'm always like, I feel energized. And I said, I never feel that way when I wake up. I always have to crank up. Like, I'm spiritually ready, but physically my body, I have to pull my body forward.
Right.
And I mean, it feels like there's a delay or a separation. So anyway, that's a whole other episode. Once I find out what that's about, I'll bring on a doctor who taught me about my sleep and then help all the other great girlfriends who struggle with me. But I struggle to sleep.
There's some other great girlfriends who've also gone to Dr. Google. And they're like, yes, Sybil, I got insomnia too, girl.
I'm telling you, that struggle sleep is real. But I'm going to find out some solutions. And I'm sure I'm about to get 5 emails from great girlfriends talking about, have you tried this? Have you heard this?
They are. They are.
It is what it is. But, Brandis, let's lay down these tracks.
I'm ready. I'm excited about today because we're still kind of at the start of the year. And so everyone's still kind of like evaluating what they want to do and how they want to approach 2018. And so I was thinking, one of the challenges I think we have is sticking to the plan.
Girl, yeah.
We have a plan, and that plan never gets out the station because we're tweaking and fixing and I've been guilty of this. Trust me. So this I've been guilty of this as well. But we're constantly tweaking and trying to make it perfect, and then we discover something else or a new tool, a new technology, and so we decide we want to add that tool or technology to it, and then we wait a little while and we figure out somebody else tells us something else, and so then we update it again, and before you know it, you have changed this plan about 10 times, and 3 or 4 years have passed by. And the plan still ain't out the gate.
That's so true.
And technology is still evolving.
Yes.
You're still evolving.
Yes.
And so this plan of yours is still evolving, but nothing's happening with it.
Yeah. That's so true. Or sometimes you see someone else that looks like they're doing the same thing you're doing. So you feel like your plan might not work.
Right.
And because I work in branding, I see a lot of that. People like, but that person's doing it. And I'm like, you're all different. Identity is totally different. But absolutely sticking with the plan, trusting it.
Yes.
Yeah. And waiting it out.
Yeah.
It's so true. Especially at the start of the year. I realized I had plans from last year. Just because the year turns over doesn't mean the plan has to turn over.
Oh, say that again. That's a tweetable
just because
moment.
The year turns over doesn't mean the plan has to turn over. It doesn't mean that you have to just scratch everything and start brand new. Right. Sometimes it's about continuing momentum on something that was already going.
Absolutely.
And if it wasn't broken in 2017, there's no reason for you to scratch it all together or scrap it all together and make something fresh and new for 2018.
So true.
You just need to stick with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
1000%. And so I think, great girlfriends, some of you out there, you're probably feeling frustrated at this moment because you're not seeing your purpose fulfilled.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know my purpose. Everybody else knows their purpose. But God has given you something like this idea. And instead of moving on that idea, you just keep changing it.
Yeah.
The idea keeps changing.
Yes.
And so you never get to move anywhere because you're constantly changing.
Absolutely.
It's like a bus being in the station and it doesn't move, right? So if a bus is in the station and it doesn't ever move, then parts are going to go bad on it.
Yeah.
A light might go out. The windshield wipers might stop working. The wheels might not move forward. May have a flat after a while. And so you're going to be constantly tweaking until that thing gets moving.
Of course.
A car can't sit in the driveway.
No.
You have to move a car.
You absolutely have to.
If you don't move a car, it won't work.
Yeah. Even when you think about, like you said, with this idea, you have this idea in your head. I think sometimes people feel like ideas aren't tangible. But I like to look at an idea as a tangible thought.
Yeah.
That if you fertilize it, just like you would fertilize a plant, a tangible seed, or you would nurture a baby, a tangible body.
Absolutely.
Treating an idea like a tangible thought and sticking to the plan that comes associated with building it out is part of the development. And so many times we like to give up on the development because we feel like it takes too long or it takes too much resource or we don't quite know how, but
this is going to take too much work.
It's too much work. And if nobody can really see it, it could just fizzle.
Right.
But it's a tangible thought.
Right.
And all it requires is for you to fertilize it and to nurture it so that it can be developed into a fully birthed product or brand or business or whatever it is that you have or see for it as a vision.
Absolutely.
But it's going to start with a thought.
Absolutely.
And that plan is the bridge between that thought and that good product or service, that brand that you want to put into the market.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Even if it's like, your thought or your idea that your 2018 body is going to be all the way snatched. Now, I made that personal because that's my personal thought. I have got to stick with the plan that's going to lead me to the vision, the snatch.
Yes.
I can't quit when it feels uncomfortable and when I'm tired and when I really want that brownie or when I'm emotionally taxed or I just want to give up. I have to stick with the plan, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, I love what you said. It's the plan, right? Guys, it's bite-sized things.
Yeah.
Like, if you just take it, here's the big vision, and you take it and just, like, based on the time that you have available, go and plan it out.
Yeah.
I can do 2 things on this day. I can do 1 thing on this day. I can do a half a thing on that day.
Absolutely.
And before you know it, taking bite-size, it will be done.
Yeah. And make it day by day and really break it down into actionable steps. And I can remember when we were kids, my dad, so I've always been a map junkie, right? Map. I used to produce them for work and now I enjoy them. But anyway, as a kid, when we would travel on road trips, my dad carried that atlas. Did you?
Yes.
And he would, I don't know why they always put him on the hood of the car. And he literally would say, we're starting in Memphis and maybe we're headed to California on a road trip. Okay, we got to plan out that route. My daddy would plan it out. We're going to stop in this city, this stop, this highway, we're going to make this turn, because the plan is the bridge between Memphis and California. And in order for us to get there, we have to have a plan, a course of action, and stick with it. Because you got 3 girls talking about Disneyland. And if you don't get us to that final vision, it's going to be trouble. And I think that's what we have to really do is we have to really look at the vision. We have to look at the idea and we have to see that plan as, all right, if I really want to bridge these two and actualize all the stuff that I imagine it could be, just like the people that we really herald in the market that are so great at what they do, we have to stick with the developmental side, the years, the time, whatever the time or whatever the work. Yeah.
We'll be right back after these messages. Hey, great girlfriends. We're inviting you to join us for the 2019 Doers and Disruptors Conference, June 13th through the 15th in New York City.
This 3-day event includes exciting receptions, life-changing panels, incredible mastermind groups, connections, and more. This year, we had over 100 great girlfriends from around the world connect with like-minded women and create incredible memories. Now, it's your turn to be a part of this exclusive event. Visit our website, www.thegreatgirlfriendsconference.com, to grab an early bird ticket for yourself and your greatest girlfriend. We cannot wait to see you there.
What's up, great girlfriends? It's Sybil here, and this pod mama has a pod baby. That's right, the Grace Podcast, which is a spiritual development podcast dedicated to helping you grow in your relationship with God through the Word of God. Listen in each week as we take your life, plug it into scriptures, and refresh it with biblical insights to make you more bold and brave each day. You can log on to my website, SybilAmoody.com, to catch up on the most recent episodes and leave your iTunes review. Thank you for listening.
Part of my process of getting here was, okay, every year I'm going to travel to New York twice a year. So I would literally say, okay, every year I'm going to go to New York twice a year. And the intention for me was to get over my intimidation of the city.
Yeah.
So it was learn how to ride the train.
Yeah.
Learn like enough about the city that you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And so little by little, I don't think that I would have been ready for the opportunity when it came to me if I wasn't preparing. And so my prep looked a little bit different than actually writing out a full plan. My prep for me was mostly emotional.
Yeah.
So it was, how do I get emotionally ready for this? Well, the only way for me to get emotionally ready for this is for me to keep putting myself in this position.
Yeah.
So that I get over the fear. And so sometimes for us, it's not even writing out a full plan. Sometimes it's getting ready for something emotionally.
Oh no, that is absolutely part of the plan. You don't have to write out a plan to have a plan.
Right.
You just have to know that you're going to take a step in a plan that's going to lead you. You don't have to write it out at all. No. No, you just have to know and commit in your mind to whatever it is you feel is going to take you the next step. Like you said, emotional immersion. All right, if I do my twice a year, I'm going to get in there. I'm going to learn or whatever, or experience it and make it a part of you.
Yeah. And eventually it got to a place where I was like, okay, I know how to get on the subway here. I felt comfortable enough. And so then when the opportunity came my way, I didn't shy from it.
Yeah, you were ready.
Yeah.
That's a big piece of it. I mean, you have to know what's keeping you from whatever it is your next thing is, and you have to be willing to pursue the plan. Like you said, sticking with it is saying, okay, I believe if I do this, this is going to bring me closer and closer and closer and closer. All right, and I'm gonna meet people on the way, and this one's gonna help me, and then this will be a part of it, and I'm gonna stick with it. And then I don't see anybody, but I know I'm supposed to be on this plan. So even though I don't see anybody, I feel like I don't have any help right now. This is still the plan, because this plan is the part that's going to work.
Absolutely.
And I know that if I'm consistent, and I mean, that's, as an entrepreneur, it's a big part of it. Oof. Sometimes people are cheering and sometimes they're not.
Right.
Sometimes they're listening to your podcast and sometimes they're not.
Right.
And it's not that you're not doing something great. It's just that you're not going to always see the people. And the people are not meant to affirm you in the process.
Right.
You just have to know what you're doing is the right thing at the right time.
And sticking to it.
And stick with it. You got to stick with it. You have to stick with it. Because it don't take a whole bunch of applause. Sometimes I only need one.
Yeah.
One person to catch you on your journey and say, how long you been doing this?
Right.
Oh.
And let me tell you. And here's what will happen, great girlfriends. What will happen is you'll get to like year 8 and people will meet you and they go, oh yeah, because you've been doing this for a couple years, right? People won't even realize how long you've been doing it. Sometimes it takes a long freaking time before anybody actually realizes that this is what you've been doing. Yeah. It's like people who become, and I'm putting this in quotes with my fingers, overnight successes.
Yeah. Oh God.
And they've been comedians who've become overnight successes. Like Kevin Hart talks about it, and he was in a comedy club for years.
Yes. Yeah. What looks like overnight to the masses, it's been a work in progress.
It's been a work in progress, a constant working. But I think it's a gift because you have those years where you're kind of hidden from everyone, where you can make mistakes and where you can kind of figure some things out, but you have got to stick with the plan. Otherwise, you'll be 90 years old saying, dang it, I had that plan and I never did anything.
Yeah, yeah. Or you never really see that vision.
Yeah.
And you always wonder what could have been And that's the worst part. If Kevin Hart hadn't stuck with his plan in his mind that he was going to be one of the world's greatest comedians, and he just said, maybe I'm Kevin, the TSA agent, or whatever, and just, settled for his life in Philly, he would have never seen what he would have imagined, which was what was the last tour that he did that filled up the stadium in Philadelphia, and he was near tears on stage saying, in a million years I would have imagined seeing this moment when I was in the underground comedy stage, but with consistency, like, look where he is now. And I mean, I think most people who have reached a certain monument of success can say, I stuck with it.
Look at our president, Barack Obama. Right? I mean, imagine had he quit when he lost races. Simple's laughing at me right now. But imagine had he quit when he lost, he lost a couple races.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Our president.
What if he had said, I lost this race, this isn't for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
You gotta stick with the plan. I know. All right, so we're gonna give you guys a couple solutions on how to stick with the plan.
Yes, I love it. Number one,
you have got to give your plan time to work. And I don't mean 6 months, and I don't mean a year.
Yeah.
You really have to sometimes give your plan, and you guys cringe, I know, 5 years.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to give it 5 years to see what it can do.
But if you knew those 5 years equaled a certain amount of success, you would easily do those 5 years. So it's hard when you can't quite see when it's going to hit. But if you still know that it's going to do what it's supposed to do at the right time, you'll stick with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
Go back to the episode we did with Tiffany the Budgetnista. Who is killing it right now. Yeah. But she said in the beginning she was just putting one little tip on her Facebook page, getting 2 likes here and there. But she stuck with it. And now she has over 250,000 women who are a part of her group. But and
she's a regular on the reel.
She's
built a multi-million-dollar business.
Yes, she's killing it. But every day she put one tip, and she said she had 1 or 2 likes. I highly recommend going to listen to that episode if you want to quit.
So good. But she did give her plan time to work.
Yeah.
She absolutely. And I mean, we're giving our plan time to work with the Great Girlfriends, and with our individual business endeavors, we're going to give our plan time to work and trust it. Absolutely. Yep. Number 2 is asking for accountability around your idea. Listen, when it feels foggy, call on somebody. Set up a coffee date. Now, you can call us, but
no, because Sybil actually has a mentoring program called Brave.
I do have a mentoring program called Brave, and it is a growth circle for women. And what's so good about it is that the women in the circle are now calling each other, which I'm like, iron sharpen one another. But seriously, you have questions, there are answers out there. And what's so great about this market we're in, I mean, back in the day, and I'm going to say this in auntie form.
You sounded like Memphis just then.
I did.
Go on,
back in the day, back in the day, which would be the 90s for us, we were flipping through books, okay? That's how we were retrieving information. And the figures that we were looking about had to have been written about.
Yes.
And if they weren't important enough to be written about, then we didn't know their success stories.
Right.
Or they had to be localized, or we had to hear it word of mouth from a letter or from something else, or television. But everything was so far apart. Now the wisdom is being flooded into the market from all types of industries and resources. And so it's important that we know it's available.
Absolutely. skills that were needed to manage that level of success or that amount of money.
Absolutely. I think, and that process time is a good time. It's actually a good time. It's the process is the pruning, and it's the refining, and it's the conditioning, and it's the strengthening.
Yes.
It's a good time. I know the pinch. We know the pinch.
Yes.
We've been down to the bare wire financially and tried to figure out how to make things happen. But the resourcefulness that comes forth when you think all is lost, but you still know that your vision is critical and that it's essential, that it's manifested.
You have to make me give you. My handkerchief at?
But that resourcefulness that comes forth during that time frame and allows you to see the same things that were surrounding you the whole time in a different eye.
Yes.
That's so important. And that's why that plan part, sticking with it, is so essential, because like you said, you get to really shape together what you want to gain out of the process. And that toolkit becomes stronger and greater.
Yes. Absolutely. And there are literally some things, when you talk about that financial things, there are some things you will not figure out until you are pinched.
Absolutely.
And then you just like get wiser about it and smarter about it. And you start searching and researching and seeking out certain knowledge that you wouldn't have sought out before.
Right.
Or seeking out certain wisdom that you wouldn't have sought out before because you didn't need to.
Yeah. You didn't feel the need for it because you thought you had it all.
Right.
And you realize, that resourcefulness. So that process is so critical.
It's building something
part
in
of the
you.
Plan. Yeah.
And sometimes you can't, like, I know some of you thinking, Sybil and Brandis. But think about something that you have right now that you can actually handle. What if you had got that 5 years ago or 10 years ago? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't have been ready for that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And it's so important for us to understand that, though things don't appear to be happening, they are happening.
They are happening.
And that, I love how the Bible talks about how all of heaven is backing you up. So I feel like when I can't see things happening, I know that God is really crafting and sculpting things behind the scenes for me, so that when I walk into whatever this idea of a moment is or a vision is, it will have so much more grandeur than I ever imagined.
Yes. And you will be prepared
I'll
for it.
I'll be prepared. And I will definitely appreciate it more.
Yes.
Because I know the years, I know the time, I know the sacrifices, and what it took for that plan to really actually build out what it is I'm looking at.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love it. You got to stick with the plan. I mean, it's in every area too. It's not just, okay, I'll stick with it here, but over here I can take shortcuts. If you get some advantage along the way, maybe someone says, oh, you can do this faster. You can optimize your time here. You can, that's it. But trying to skip the line and take somebody else's plan and make it your own when it was built for them, it will cause conflicts. You won't be able to see and understand the gift in the way you would if you had taken your own plan.
1,000%.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Mic drop. That's a wrap.
You're so funny.
That's a wrap. I'm about to send some offering to Sybil.
Send some offering, please, Jesus, please. Take every offer I can get, because these kids don't eat for free yet. I haven't gotten a good brand that's gonna sponsor my meals yet. Hello, Fresh Direct. Hello, Blue Plate. Oh, I'm just saying they don't eat for free. But anyway.
Absolutely. And those who have not checked out, because Sybil, I don't know why she's not big up and brave right now, but she talks about it off air and how amazing it is. It is a mentoring program for women. So where can they find out information about Brave?
They can email me, SybilAmoody@gmail.com.
All right.
It's a private growth circle for women. And it's so much fun. I'm having so much fun because I'm enjoying seeing women really have their light bulb moments and get clarity on just sometimes they're daily things, and sometimes they're big mega life things, but whatever those stumbling blocks are, and then the accountability that you gain from having another woman who you can build trust and vulnerability with. And
that accountability is key.
It really is key. It's key. I live
key.
my life with a lot of accountability. You live your life with a lot of accountability. And I feel like, I can say with certainty, most of the women that we know who like the way they're living, who have a certain quality of life that they like, they like their quality of life, they create accountability.
Yeah. It's important.
So email me, SybilAmoody@gmail.com, and let me know that you're interested in Brave, and I will send you the information.
Awesome. All right, GGs.
We could not end this podcast without thanking our amazing husbands.
Yes, thank you, Kwaku.
And thank you so much, Rich Daniel.
And our beautiful children, thank you, Sam and Dylan.
And thank you, Miss Sky Daniel.
And thank you to all of you great girlfriends for trusting us as your go-to source for everything life, love, and laughter.
You can check us out on our social, on Instagram,
The Great Girlfriends,
on Twitter,
_great_GFS,
and on Facebook,
The Great Girlfriends.
And please make sure that you join our Facebook group, which is over 16,000 women strong.
Absolutely. And make sure you listen every single Wednesday on iTunes, Spotify, Podcast Bean, Podcast Republic, Google Play, and every other podcasting service.
Absolutely.
Be sure to post your questions, share with your friends. Keep listening and keep being a great girlfriend. I'm Sybil.
And I'm Brandon.
And we're signing off.
Peace.
Peace.